Good morning, everyone. I'm Scott McGrew. Even people who know nothing about cryptocurrency know cryptocurrency has run into some kind of trouble lately. They've heard people like me say on television the price of Bitcoin is down something like 70% from its all-time high. They know there's a young man out there named Sam Bankman-Fried and a company called FTX. And even if they're not quite sure what all that's about, they know there's billions of dollars gone. Nico Moran does a daily show about Bitcoin on YouTube. Nico, good morning. I'd love to just chat with you and debate with you about the situation of Bitcoin these days. But let's start with some qualifications. Why do people listen to you when it comes to crypto?
Yeah, so we've been doing a daily show for 2 years. We're one of the most popular Bitcoin YouTube daily shows on YouTube and on Twitter Spaces. I've been in the industry for about 6 years now, and yeah, we've been pushing this message for a long time. But I get a little worried when people say what qualifications you have. You know, I'm a big believer on what value I bring to the table rather than credentials.
Fair enough. Now, when we talk about Bitcoin, know that I have been kind of a cryptocurrency in general skeptic for quite some time. But then again, I've been wrong about all kinds of things over my many years of trying to figure out the world. But, I mean, lately the evidence seems to be on my side. You've got FTX. There was a firm the other day called BlockFi that said it was out of money. Sequoia says, oh, man, have we made a mistake? The value of a company like Coinbase has been much smaller than it was to begin with. So as a skeptic, I feel like the evidence of skepticism is on my side. Are you seeing positive things the way that I'm seeing negative things?
Yeah. So, unfortunately, history is repeating itself, right? Unfortunately, look, the reality is that there's Bitcoin and there's crypto, right? And you should be skeptical of crypto, right? Crypto is a continuation of, the legacy system, right? Unfortunately,
and just for the viewer who doesn't understand, cryptocurrency is an overarching term. Bitcoin is a cryptocurrency, but not all cryptocurrency is Bitcoin.
Correct. Yes. And you have to define what the difference is between the two, right? Because I could say anything I want, but what's really the fundamental difference? Cryptocurrencies are inherently centralized, right? They're controlled by a group of individuals. Bitcoin is not controlled by anybody. There's a set of rules. The protocol is what it is. The issuance rate is what it is, and it cannot be changed, right? And because it's like that, it protects the individual user of Bitcoin. And if you compare that with whether it's crypto or how our current financial system works today, there's a bureaucratic elite. There's an elite group of people that get to change the rules to benefit themselves, So that's what Bitcoin's all about. Now, to go back to your original question, right? If you look at the FTX blow up, if you look at the Celsius blow up, if you look at all these exchange blow ups, if you've been chasing yields, if you've been sending your crypto, if you've been sending your Bitcoin to those exchanges to get a 6% yield, right? And in the process of doing that, what you're doing is you're giving up custody of your Bitcoin. Of course, it's going to affect you. But if you've been listening to what the true Bitcoiners have been saying, with the Bitcoin, what we call ourselves in the space, the Bitcoin maxis, the only thing we advocate for is to earn Bitcoin, mine Bitcoin, buy Bitcoin, and take that Bitcoin into self-custody. If you take that Bitcoin into self-custody, none of these blowups would have affected you.
Right, because I've wondered about this. You read about these exchanges and they functionally are sort of like banks where you park your Bitcoin. Bitcoin, to those who are not aware, is not a coin. It's just a set of numbers. It's a very long string of numbers. I could put them on a USB drive and put them in my safe. My literal steel safe in my house. I could write them down in a notebook if I really had the patience, right? I don't have to be storing Bitcoin on these places that seem to explode and disappear overnight.
Absolutely. And that's what makes it so radically different, because we've always had to outsource the storage of our wealth to a third party. And what makes Bitcoin so unique and so different is that you hit the nail on the head, Scott, right? You can write down a 12-word seed phrase, and in those 12 words, theoretically, you could store millions, billions, and trillions of dollars just by writing it down. And that fundamentally changes everything. And it also empowers individuals, right? The likes of which I've never seen before. If I live in a totalitarian country, for example, right? or in a country that has high inflation, right? For the first time, I could choose to opt out of the financial system entirely. Mm-hmm. And now for the first time, I get to keep all my work, right? It's not being stolen from me either via inflation or a tyrannical government, right? That's what makes this so unique. And that in itself, the ability for a human being to store their wealth by either memorizing a 12-word seed phrase or writing it down is going to change the world completely.
Nico Moran, that's the time I have, but I appreciate it. If you want to hear more from Nico, check out Simply Bitcoin. He's the host there on YouTube, also the founder of BitVolt. Thanks for being with us this morning, Nico, and Press Here. We'll be right back.